I don't have a problem. No one has a problem with legal immigration. But if you're going to move 65,000 Indian tech engineers to the front of the line so that they can take the jobs of the ones here, or most of them, or however it works out, and continue to do that yearly, I think that's where people have an issue.
Think about it. Religion has actually convinced people that there's an invisible man living in the sky who watches everything you do every minute of every day. And the invisible man has a special list of 10 things he does not want you to do. And if you do any of these 10 things, he has a special place full of fire and smoke and burning and torture and anguish where he will send you to live and suffer and burn and choke and scream and cry forever and ever till the end of time. But he loves you.
Welcome to Stay in the Gray podcast. We explore news that gets people talking by blending comedy and controversy.
Man, I can feel his words. Shadow streets of hurt.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Trey. Together we dive into tough topics with a combination of humor and some insight.
So join us as we navigate the gray areas of the world and engaging in real conversation.
Come get to know us.
All right, hey guys. I'm excited to be here. It's been a while. I've been sick. I'm antsy. I'm excited. I'm ready to roll. It's been pent up. I was sick all Christmas. My kids fucking bring home shit from school and I'm out. My wife's out. Our house was a germ farm. But things are getting better. And there's so much. Look, our country is jacked up right now. The world's jacked up, but our country is jacked up. Just when you think one side's this way, the other side's that way, then it gets all cluster fucked. And we're going to talk about it. I'm excited. I'm excited to be back. This is what I need to be. This is what I do. And so I hope you guys appreciate me being a little bit under the weather. I know I'm not supposed to be drinking while under the weather. However, I do have a cocktail in hand. It is vodka. Let me tell you, when you haven't had a chance to get to the liquor store, vodka with some of your kids' mango passion fruit punch does the trick. So I'm enjoying a dab of that with a nice Tito's vodka. So let's get rolling. Let's do the headlines that made it through editing somehow. This one was an actual headline, and you obviously know what they're trying to say, but they just can't quite get it out. This one says, "Fireworks show to be aired on the radio." All right, I don't feel like they're going to get good ratings for that, but good luck to them. Let's go to butthurt comments to the show. I used to enjoy this, and I think I'm starting to doubt doing this anymore because I just feel like people are. I'm trying not to name call. So you substitute what you think I'm about to say, but my goodness gracious, it is to the point where I'm starting to realize the more I've been getting involved, the more I'm growing. That there are people that wake up in the morning looking for the term troll as an actual thing. I thought, all right, it's just something to say to the people that were being unpleasant. But I really feel like these people get up, they have one subscriber on YouTube, a picture of a damn cat, and they've been on here since 2019. But man, they're ready to call you names and to tell you you're an idiot and that your show sucks. Those are called trolls. That's what I've learned. And I just don't get does it make you feel better about yourself to stop on a reel, on a short, on a show and say, hey, you suck. I can take it. If I thought every single person would like what I have to say, and would like this show, then this is not a good business because I'd be taking a lot of rejection. I am aware that not everybody likes this, but do you need to stop and say it? Go ahead. You're going to make butthurt comment to the show, and people can, enjoy, have some entertainment out of your pettiness. But this one was funny here. Short/reel that we put up, and all it was about the small town in Canada that was being fined for refusing to fly the pride flag during Pride Month. And they were being fined. And I thought that was, you can't fine somebody. You can look at him and go, I don't agree with that. But to fine him, I didn't agree with it. That was just my opinion that I came to. And this comment said, keep on making stuff up just to cry about it. And immediately I just was like, whoa. First off, if you're going to, and I got to stop myself and realize, okay, these people are these people. But I'm not, what did I make up? It was an actual story. I told a story. I didn't make anything up. And my opinion is my opinion, and I'll state it's an opinion. It's not fact that they shouldn't be fined. It's my opinion they shouldn't be fined. So, there was no crying. I mean, I didn't see one tear during that reel/short. So I'm not sure what this guy was talking about. So I just told him to like and subscribe, unless you're a bot. Again, this is one of those that had 0 to 1 subscribers, and has been on here for quite a while. And I think this is probably the name is JWDHNXJ. I mean, one of these accounts. So maybe it's a bot, and maybe that bot got me. So let's start focusing on AI and the war on social media with AI. The other one was kind of something that I ended up again having to block. I'm just we'll get to that because Elon's decided that Twitter/X is there's some stuff going on that platform right now, and we're going to talk about it tonight. But one of the things is an algorithm that's blocking people actually matters, and it's kind of like whoa, let's tap the brakes on that. And so, people are just blocking left and right. And I'm trying not to do that because I don't want to silence assholes. I don't want to silence people. All I've ever said is I want to talk to people. So by doing that, I feel a little bit hypocritical, and I hate hypocrites. But this, at a certain point, you got to say, okay, enough's enough. We're going to move on from it. And I feel like, I had a video where I put up, I've had a bunch of them, but the free healthcare really, it just gets people. And, it's somebody that looks at me and finally goes, you're right. Or excuse me, you're wrong. I'm right. That's the end of it. Really? I don't agree with that, first off. And, I try to say, look, I'm not going to get into this with you because it just doesn't work. So that's the other tactic, is to sit here and then lastly, you have these people that go, hey, blah, 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 you're this, and this. And then they block you so you can't respond. And that's the most cowardly pussy act that there is. If you're going to go on here and talk and be a keyboard warrior, I learned that term, behind a picture of a fucking cat, at least have the balls to hear my response. And then maybe, if you don't like it, we can block each other. But to go on here and spout off and then immediately block, man, what a loser. So any of you that might be seeing this that have done that, I'm looking at you. And I know I said the last, but I just remembered another one, which, again, if somebody comes on and goes, I did a video the other day about how I've been sick, and usually we do Tuesday and Friday releases, and Friday we missed it because of being sick. And I put out something that said, hey, look, this is what's going on. New show, trying to be upbeat. It's 65 damn degrees in Dallas, Texas, and I'm the guy that wants the snow. If it's winter, it needs to be snow, or at least cold, and it has not been. And so I was out in short sleeves, and I just put up a video. Why not? Whether you like me or not, I have people that listen to this show. I just do. I have the analytics. I have the data to support that. You may think it's low. I think it's pretty good for as long as I've been doing this. And if I reach anybody, I'm happy. But this guy comes on and he goes, literally, he used the word literally, which everybody knows is another pet peeve. He goes, literally, nobody cares about you. And I thought that was nice of him. Thank you for coming on and taking the time to stop what you're doing and tell me that you don't care that I just put out something that said, hey, everybody, I hope you had a Merry Christmas. I've been sick, blah, blah, blah. But no, you had to say that. So either he heard something before that he didn't like and he's lashing out, or he's just a piece of shit and he's a troll, or he's a bot. And he said that. So, again, I should just ignore these people, but you know what? Interaction's interaction, right? So I just responded simply, that's not true. I have analytics to prove otherwise. At least somebody does care. Not literally nobody. So there's my butthurt comments to the show segment. It's not that creative. It's just a bunch of trolls. Give me something creative. And I had some good ones the other, but I didn't want to do them tonight. I'll do them next show maybe because of the main topic tonight is what they were responding to. And there were some good ones there, but it's just be creative. Give me some substance behind the insults at least. But usually when you immediately come on with your credentials and insults, that means you don't have anything if you have to tell somebody. So let's move on from butthurt comments. I wanted to mention real fast, and I thought this was fucking hilarious before we do news. President Biden says he regrets withdrawing from the election. He claims he would have been victorious over Donald Trump. Now, I've already read this enough to where my laughter is gone, so I can do the show and tell you that he said this. Two things. One, if Biden or anybody else thinks that he actually had say in whether he was going to drop out or not, you're on something, because that man was tossed to the curb by that party. He had no say. And number two, if you think you had a chance to beat Donald Trump after not only the performance you gave at the debate, but just your performance as a president in the last 4 years, then you're also on something. So I thought it was very interesting, and I don't even know if he knew he was saying it, or if somebody told him to say it, or if what does this do? What does this do for the Democratic Party to have Joe Biden come out and say, I should have stayed in, even though they know damn well that it wasn't him that bowed out. It was pushed out. What does it do? Does it kind of make up for it, saying, oh man, we could have won this thing, we're good for 2028? Or does it kind of make them look petty? I just thought it was funny, and that you should know that Biden thinks that he could have won and should have stayed in it. I'm not sure which year he thinks it is. Good luck, Joe. So, let's do news. It's my 2-drink news, but I only made one this time, so you can wait for 3 seconds. Those were 3 Mississippis, but yeah, you'll be all right. All right, how about this? Let's talk about commutes to work and to school. And, I had one, I think, back in the day that was about 45 minutes to work. Never to school that long. I've been lucky to have kind of the commutes have been under an hour, which is still long. But it gave me time to drink coffee, listen to some tunes back in the 90s and 2000s when you didn't have everybody on their phone and crashing into one another. But this takes it to a whole new level. And I'm going to butcher this. Guangli Zhu is a 28-year-old student from China, if you couldn't tell by my perfect Chinese/Mandarin accent. I'm not sure which one it is. But he's in his final semester at the Royal Melbourne Institute in Australia. This isn't an online class. I'm sure some of it is, but it's not an all online class. It says he posted a video on Douyin, which apparently is the Chinese TikTok. I thought TikTok was owned by China, so I didn't know they had to have their own. Maybe this just means TikTok in Chinese. I don't know, but the Chinese version of TikTok. He posted a video about his weekly commute. His weekly commute is 5,468 miles. That's a long way. To get across from New York to LA is about 3,500 miles, maybe a little less, I believe. Tell me if I'm wrong, but it's not 5,000. And I didn't think it was 5,000 from China to Australia, but I'm learning better and better geography with all the news I give you. This guy was from the Look, I'm not Chinese. I never claimed to know how to speak it or the accent or the pronunciation. So Dezhou, which is in the Shandong, don't mean to laugh, but I'm laughing at myself. The Shandong province, and he would go to Melbourne and back in each week. He 11 times made the trip during a semester, just from August to December. It was a semester, or September to December. $1,500 round trip, which isn't too bad. You know, for us over here in the United States, that trip to Australia is a lot more money than that, I believe. I don't think you can get one for $750, even back in the back with the peasants. But he claims, and his quote was, "I think the money is better spent to stay at home." So, man, I don't know. I don't know. And maybe you do your schoolwork on the commute. Maybe he likes to fly. Maybe I don't know. What would you do? I'm kind of torn. I thought about it, and the experience, but it just seems like, why not stay and embrace another culture and try and learn it and experience it, and you can go back home after. But I guess maybe he's either got a case of homesickness, or he prefers his own culture every day. Fair enough. Next, sister, meaning nun for the layman. Sister Anna, I'm going to say Anna because she's Italian, so I think that sounds more Italian. Anna Donnelly was arrested in relation to mafia investigations in northern Italy. So she's a volunteer at a prison. You can't make this up. And it gave her, as a volunteer, as a nun, it gave her this access to penitentiary. Can't talk. All the facilities. And so what happened was she was relaying messages between the Ndrangheta mafia and all the incarcerated members of that group. So she was like, getting private information from one to the other, and I guess they're in their master plan of whatever the hell they were going to do. And she's awaiting trial. That story is very quick and very simple, but I just picture a nun going to visit a prison and being sentenced for dealing with the mafia or aiding and abetting the mafia. I don't know if that's what God meant when he said good deeds, but what do I know? All right, here's some fun facts real quick. This is my third bit of news, and then we're going to move on because I got a lot to get to. These are 4 facts that I found entertaining about the human body. The butt is the largest muscle in the body, so the glute. And I thought it was the tongue, but I guess that's the strongest is the tongue. Anyway, but the butt is apparently the largest muscle, gluteus, whatever it's called in Latin. The way we sit, which, I have bad posture, as you can tell, but the way we sit, it affects our memories. If you're looking up, you'll remember your good memories, your positive memories, the good times in your life better than if you're looking down. And I think maybe that's why everybody's an asshole these days, is because everybody's looking down into their fucking phone, or looking down to avoid eye contact because everybody's pissed at the world and they're remembering bad stuff. That's my theory. But it's very interesting. So I don't know if everybody's supposed to walk around just kind of like, looking up, but if you're meditating, or if you're daydreaming, relaxing, having a cup of coffee, having a drink at night, keep your head up, and you'll remember maybe that's where the phrase keep your chin up comes from. And you know what? If everybody already knew this and I'm just throwing shit out there, then fuck you, because I'm excited that I learned something. So there we go. Dirty hair can help the environment. Did you know that? It absorbs the ozone because of the scalp oils absorb it, which makes them look, dirty. So if you see me on a day where my hair looks greasy, you're welcome, environmentalist. I'm here for you. Lastly, did you know that humans actually glow? I immediately thought of Twilight and the vampires, how they sparkle. And I don't know whether that makes me kind of a weenie or if any of you thought of that when I just said that humans glow. Please comment if you did so that I know I'm not alone. 1,000 times less intense than levels that our human eye can spot. That's why we can't see it. I wonder if there is anything else that can see it that might be able to capture that. Maybe that's to a different animal. We glow and freak them out. It goes up and down each day, and the least amount of glow is at 10 a.m. in the morning. Makes sense. Wake up, coffee, kind of, whatever, long day. The most is 4 p.m. And I think maybe we're trained with the workday. So people are like, okay, 5 o'clock's almost here, 4 o'clock, I'm glowing, ready to roll, happy hour, let's get drunk, let's party. Or let's go home and watch, binge some show. But either way, 4 o'clock is when you're at your brightest. So there you go. That was news. Quick news, because I have two main topics to get to tonight. And I wanted to kind of latch on to the last show. And the last show was my Christmas show. I missed a show in between. This will be the New Year's Eve release. I don't have any fun facts about New Year's. That was my old co-host, Trey. That was his responsibility. He was always good with those facts and lists about holidays and events. I failed you in that regard for New Year's, but I would like to piggyback onto what I was talking about with Christmas and religion, because I started thinking about it after I rewatched the show that released on Christmas. It's episode 420. Go back and check it out. I have a beautiful Pittsburgh Penguins Christmas sweater. But I started thinking about how Christmas, it's a season to me. It's, how many times during the Christmas season, the holiday season in this country, as so many lefties mainly like to say, religious, of course, the Christians get angry about that, and they're mostly right-wing. But it just seems like more of a season. It doesn't seem like I hear too many, oh, I'm so excited about Jesus' birthday coming up. It's more of I'm excited about Christmas, or I'm excited about going to look at lights, or the Christmas tree, or if you're a child or an adult, presents. Sweet presents. Visiting with family, drinking eggnog, watching Christmas Vacation, watching cheesy fucking Hallmark movies that I did one so far with my wife, and I'm willing to do more because I don't mind them that much. I'll admit it. And then I watch football. But it's a season. And so I started thinking about it, but it makes people happy. I just feel like, this year's maybe a little different in the election. Everybody's still kind of wanting to fight and spit at each other. But overall, it seems like it's more of a season. And I like that to a point. Christians, diehard, even Jews and Muslims and things like that can embrace this season. It doesn't have to be, that's not my religion. I can't embrace everybody being cheery. I can't embrace the beautiful lights. New York City in Christmas is something special. I was able to go up there in December and see it. And all of this surrounds the Christian faith. But there was, and I should have pulled it up. Maybe I'll post it on social media. You have the United Arab Emirates main airline, Emirates, and I realize people that they have probably done things the right way, and they've used their oil money to create this beautiful city, as we know, called Dubai, that many tourists go to and want to see, and so they're catering to those tourists. I get that, but I've never seen anything like it, where they had motorized Santa and reindeer pulling, not really, but pulling the plane. And as it took off, Santa took off first and the plane took off behind it. And it was just cool. But this was an Arab country. Technically, it's the United Arab Emirates. And so to do that is what we should all be doing. Let's all, whatever. Admittedly, Muslims, I need to know your holidays. I don't know them all. If you told me the names, I may have heard of them. But tell me what they are so I can wish you a happy one or a merry one or whatever you prefer. Because guess what? It's about individual spirituality, in my opinion. Whatever makes you a better person, whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you do good, whatever makes you in your heart feel like this is where I belong, do it. And let's stop yelling at each other. And for fuck's sake, let's stop killing each other in these stupid wars. Governments, leaders, fucking terrorists. But it just got me thinking about individual spirituality. And I want to know why it's bad. Why is me saying that bad? Because a lot of people, I need to be careful now, because according to some of my Muslim friends, there's some extremists that would not like to hear that. There are some Christians that would not like to hear this. Jews, same thing. The Hindus and some of these people, they're probably the peaceful, the Buddha and all that shit. From what I know about that, they're peaceful, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're probably right." I think I may have checked more into that and just kind of hang with those guys. They always seem like just chilling. They're not fighting anybody. They're just chilling in their robes and like relaxing. That's what I want in my religion. Who cares if you're worshiping some weird fucking statue or cow? I'm all for it. Let's roll. Joke, people, calm down. Unless you're Hindu, and I'm with you. But what really bothers me about this, and that ties on to what I was just saying, is that people, just because you say it, doesn't mean it's the only way. It doesn't mean it's the way. You don't know. Nobody can offer me proof. The Bible says this, and there's been archaeological bullshit. There's enough in there that hasn't been. You're going by blind faith. In fact, that's something that you tell people. All these religions, there has to be blind faith. There has to be, or it does not check out. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a great blind faith. If you feel it and you go, all the best. But don't nitpick. Let's quit nitpicking. Don't tell me I'm going to go to hell, or don't tell me that I'm an infidel, or don't tell me that, anything you can tell me, because I'm with you. I believe in God. I don't know all the other details, and there's nothing wrong with that. Being open, wanting to learn, wanting to open all the books and read them all. I learned that the first 5 books are used in all 3 of the Abrahamic religions. Did all of you know that? Probably. Maybe I'm late to the party. But all I know is that to me tells me that we shouldn't be fighting. We should be like, let's have a discussion on how you feel. I'd love to hear it. And I hope that I get to have that soon. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play you, if I can find it. I haven't been great at this. I'm going to play you right here a clip. This is from one of my favorite comedians of all time, and probably one of yours if you're, I'm not going to put an age on this, but he was from the past. He passed away, and he had a long career, and this is a man named George Carlin, and he is fantastic. And I saw this clip, and this is when he was older, probably maybe 5 years before he passed. And it made too much sense. And I don't agree with all of it, because George was more of an atheist. He was more of a, the religious stories and all that are bullshit, and they've got you believing it. He did have a lot of that in him, and that's fine. But he was a comedian. He was an entertainer, and I took bits and pieces. But there's a part here that I'm going to play for you that we're going to listen to that fits exactly what I'm saying about being open, wanting to learn more individual spirituality. And check this out. It's really funny. Here we go. I think they'll put it somewhere. You choose, boys. Put it wherever you like on the screen. Here's George.
Think about it. Religion has actually convinced people that there's an invisible man living in the sky who watches everything you do every minute of every day. And the invisible man has a special list of 10 things he does not want you to do. And if you do any of these 10 things, he has a special place full of fire and smoke and burning and torture and anguish, where he will send you to live and suffer and burn and choke and scream and cry forever and ever till the end of time. But he loves you.
I thought that is the best. And he goes on a little bit, and of course he's big time anti-government and all that, but he thinks everybody's conspiracy against you. But that is exactly what I'm talking about, is this idea that if I don't believe the way that you do, then you're going to go here and you're going to burn and you're going to do this, but he loves you and he whatever. So my thought is that God isn't mean. I hope not. That would suck. I don't believe in this idea of fearing God. There are people that say, I'm a God-fearing man. Why would God want you to fear him versus use other word like respect or love or I don't know. But fear? Do you think God wants us to fear him? I don't know. And these are one of the topics I like to talk about. But if he's all-knowing, he's all-infallible, he's infallible, then he should understand. If there's somebody like myself who doesn't, I don't not believe, I'm not atheist, I'm not sitting here saying that's stupid, there's no God, then God should go, hey, look, I actually like this. This human that I made and created and whatever wants to know more. That's how everybody should be. Let's learn. Let's be good to each other. Let's listen to each other. I don't know. Tell me I'm full of shit when it comes to religion all you want, but I don't think so. I think it's a personal choice, and that the more we talk about it and listen to each other and learn from each other, maybe the less we'll kill each other over it, whatever. Anyway, sorry, I had to look at my notes. I just don't like the way it's politicized. Also, I feel like if you're religious, you're supposed to be on the right. If you're not, you're on the left. If you're Muslim, you're on the left. It's all of a sudden your religion dictates where you fall politically, and that's stupid. Remember that our brains are only capable of so much, and I just don't think anybody can claim that they understand it and that they get it and that they can tell you straight up what it's all about and that you're right or wrong. So let's move on. All right, let's get to, let me see what we're doing on time here. Jesus. Okay, let's get to it. I'll try and make it quick. Elon. For those of you that don't know, Elon Musk, who has been a Trump guy, who's been his biggest donor, who's probably a big reason that Trump won. Maybe not the biggest, but he definitely didn't hurt. His relationship with Joe Rogan didn't hurt. Joe's endorsement didn't hurt. And then Vivek Ramaswamy. And so Trump has appointed these guys, and I'll get to that. He's putting them on his staff. They've come together. Vivek is conservative, Indian American, born here, but definitely from Indian descent. And Elon was a former Democrat from South Africa. Okay. Simple background. And I want this to be an example of having a discussion about the gray areas of a topic and not this, you're on this side or this side, so fuck you. And that seems to be what I'm getting with this topic, and guess where it's coming from? The right. I always talk about the left doing this and that how I can never align with those guys. I'm a registered independent. I voted for Donald Trump. And now the right is getting crazy. Go on Twitter, Elon's platform. It's fucking crazy right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if it hit you normal people who just went on Twitter for sports or something like that. And all of a sudden you're looking and going, what's going on? But I digress. Here we go. H1B visas. I think that's how you say it. H1B visas are the topic. What that does is it allows U.S. employers, to hire employees from another country for specialty occupations. It's the largest visa category, and you have to have a bachelor's degree or higher. 7 of 10 of these are from India, of all the countries in the world. And it's for a max of 6 years. Elon and Vivek, let me tell you what happened. So their title that Trump gave them is the head of the Department of Government Efficiency, whatever the hell that is. At the time, I was like, oh, that's cool. I like the idea of having Elon and Vivek on board. They haven't, up until whatever, stirred the pot. They're definitely doing it now. And the claim from them is that the H1Bs are essential because our U.S. culture, and this is the part that gets everybody wound up, the U.S. culture doesn't prioritize success in science and engineering. And essentially, Vivek literally said this, quote, American culture has venerated mediocrity. There's some more, but I trust I didn't change the context, I promise. So his claim is that we value the prom queen over the math Olympiad, the jock over the valedictorian, etc., etc. Before I move on to what Elon said, Vivek, just because you might have been that guy, that math dork, doesn't mean that you need to like lash out at everybody else, because you need a little of everything. There's nothing wrong with being prom king, prom queen. There's nothing wrong with being an athlete, a jock. I mean, look how much these fuckers get paid. People are entertained by it. People like it. It's not easy. I'm talking as if I'm one of those. I'm not a professional athlete. But give me a break. I mean, that's a very vague blanket statement, and that's dangerous. It's a little bit of I don't like the way you put that, because guess what? Americans like myself don't like being told that we are okay with mediocrity. There are a lot of reasons that our education system is mediocre, which, by the way, it's fallen to what, 18th, 20th, or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, people, write me. But it's not substandard per se. So to say that, it was a little surprising to me. I don't know if he feels comfortable now that Trump won, that he can say whatever he wants. But Elon said there's a shortage of extremely talented and motivated engineers. Let me clarify. He said, I'm referring to bringing in via legal immigration the top 0.1% of engineering talent for America to be the best, essentially. So that might not sound like a lot, and it's not in the big scheme, and I'm okay with 0.1%, I think. But is it really 0.1%? And that's what people are talking about right now. Trump said a month ago, and that's my biggest thing, is that who gives a shit what Vivek and Elon are saying? What is Donald saying? I have a feeling he can nip this in the bud if he needs to. Problem is that on a podcast, I forget which one, I'm not going to plug you. Apparently you're doing well enough if you're talking to Donald. Donald, if you want to come on ours, I would love it. But apparently he said that once illegal immigration was kind of handled, he wasn't opposed to bringing in the H1B visas and to help out in that regard. And I'm pretty sure that was probably advised by Elon and Vivek. This is the problem right here. This is what people are upset about. 65,000 visas of this type per year, max. An additional 20,000 if you have master's or higher. What are your thoughts initially when you hear that? A year. These people can come in mostly from 70% from India right off the bat. The others are China, Taiwan, some other countries in that region for the most part. Other than that, it's very, very minimal. I feel like, and I thought long and hard about this, because this has divided people who voted for Donald Trump. I think that 90% of the people that voted have made their decision and are like, fuck you, Elon and Vivek, and are saying, hey, immediately, are you kidding me? Donald Trump has ran on a platform of bringing jobs back, of not letting jobs out of this country. And all of a sudden you're telling me you're going to bring in 65,000 a year. And it's not just for top jobs. We don't have 65,000 top-notch engineering tech jobs in this country. Apparently, the list of jobs is available for anybody to see for these visas. And some of them are even janitorial work within some of these tech facilities, making the same amount as an American would. Some of them are a little bit higher up, maybe, what do you call it, the desk work and all of that, filing, assistant work, phones, the same amount an American would make. And if you mean to tell me that we can't do all of those jobs and inspire and motivate somebody to do that higher than a mediocre level, I would disagree with you. Everybody knows that I voted for Donald and that I was very proud of Elon and Joe Rogan and all these guys. Vivek is a smart guy. I think he's a cheeseball at times, but he's very smart. Maybe he was the math Olympiad or whatever, but he's a dorky guy, but he's smart and probably really, really nice and fun to hang out with. But he'll probably tell you straight to your face he's a dork. But I like him. And, he jumped on the Trump train as soon as he realized that he had no shot at being president. He immediately was one of the only people that said, I'm backing Trump. Other people that were running for Republican candidate still were bashing Trump. And you don't hear from those people, oddly enough. So I don't understand why you need 65,000 a year. And that's my question to everybody. To Elon's credit, he did say that the H1B system needs to be overhauled. Good for you, Elon. There you go. Because that makes more sense. If you're saying we want to bring in, my point with the H1B is that if you want to supplement this country and its great minds, which we have, regardless of whether Vivek Ramaswamy thinks that we overall embrace mediocrity, which I don't agree with. Not overall. We need to maybe boost up in general, but there are people here with brilliant minds. And so to supplement that with people, a certain number of people, great. That's what this country is about. I don't have a problem. No one has a problem with legal immigration. But if you're going to move 65,000 Indian tech engineers to the front of the line so that they can take the jobs of the ones here, or most of them, or however it works out, and continue to do that yearly, I think that's where people have an issue. So if you're able to, as Elon said, to adjust this a bit and to overhaul it and to say, hey, look, yeah, we definitely don't want to be closed off to having people here that can make this better. Great. But those amounts are extreme in my opinion, and I'm gonna go ahead and state my case that's too high. Every year to have that, I mean you're literally, it's an influx, and it's not about race. People, of course, are making it about race. And you know what? All you on the left, suck it. Everybody, this is so much fun to watch. The Trump voters are tearing each other apart. No, it's called trying to debate and figure out an issue like adults. I admit there's some tearing each other apart, but it's nothing like what they do on the left. So shut up. You're not helping. I've never seen a group of people cheer for the country to fail like I do the modern liberal. It's crazy. They lost the election, and now it's like, deep down they're like, oh, I'll deal with 4 years of complete and utter failure in this country just to say, I told you so. And that's absurd. So the main issue is that Trump has campaigned on bringing jobs back to the country. If he does this, that goes against what he's been campaigning, in my opinion. Again, some of them, bring over some great minds, bring over some people that would contribute to society, contribute to our country. But this seems extreme, and I'll say it again. Both Elon and Vivek, upon receiving this backlash, have now compared it to sports. And so that's what I'll do here for you if you're kind of trying to figure out what the hell's going on. What they're saying is that, hey, in basketball, they use the NBA as an example. I'm not a big NBA guy. Those guys are a bunch of prima donnas, if you ask me, compared to hockey and football, even football. But college basketball is a whole different. This is not a sports podcast, as much as my old co-host, Trey, and I wanted it to be at one point. But he compared it to a sports team, and he said, hey, Wembanyama for the NBA, if anybody doesn't know, he plays for the San Antonio Spurs from a foreign country. Luka Doncic, I can't ever say his name, so Djokovic, whatever his name is, from a different country. These people, the NBA are drafting a lot of people from foreign countries to make their team better. And so that's what they're kind of comparing it to. Hey, look, if we need a point guard in technical engineering over here, and we don't have one that we think is as good as this guy over here in India, why not bring them over? And I'm all for that to a point. There's a line, and I think there's a gray area to this, which is what I'm talking about. Bring over some. Why not make it the best? But don't sit here and tell us that 65,000 Indian visas need to be handed out because we can't handle that in the United States because of a mediocre mindset, because of striving for mediocrity, according to Vivek. That was an inappropriate thing to say, even with the context that he meant it in. I don't think there's a way out of that. I think the only way out of that is to say, you know what, all right, these are my opinions. Let's see what we can do to help fix that here before jumping across. So I was torched for saying this, that there's a gray area. And this is from all the people that are like-minded to me when it comes to American politics. We're all people that voted for Trump, and I'm getting all these, besides the lefties that are going on here to be trolls, all the Republicans are like, oh, you're giving me memes of people doing the blowjob motion for Elon because I made a positive comment in response to his tweet or his post. Heaven forbid I be positive and say, hey, look, you know more than me. You've done more than me. You're Elon, and you helped Donald get elected. I'm willing to listen to you. And I got torched. And it made me think, it's not just the left. So, righties, let's be better. And I don't even view myself as a righty. I'm an independent that leans right because the left has gone insane. And I've said that before, so don't act surprised. But come on, let's talk. Show the left that we're better. Show the left that this is an issue that's come up and that we're going to figure it out. But you got to hang in the gray areas. I'm not just plugging the show, ladies and gentlemen, but you do. The last thing that I want to talk about, and then I'll wrap it up. My boys are going to be upset because I cannot keep a show close to 30 to 40 minutes. It always goes a little over, but it's because it's great content, and I hope you're enjoying it. Lastly, very fast, Elon has always spoken out about free speech, and it's why I want to spend some time on X. I want to support that because I believe in it too. Free speech, let's do it. You can say whatever the fuck you want on X. There's none, and that's whatever. All of a sudden, he comes out and says, by the way, the algorithms will be affected by how many people block you. Okay, Elon, you're one of the smartest minds of our world. People are going to use that block button like it's just all day long. I don't agree. I'm going to block, and try and silence everybody. This is not a good thing that you're proposing for these algorithms. I wouldn't say up and coming anymore, but I'd say a podcast trying to grow, trying to reach people. And you're telling me if someone disagrees with something I say, they can hit block and it's going to affect my reach. That's against what you said. That's against what you wanted. What the fuck is going on? And this is coming from you. This isn't like people are I'm reading some false publication from the liberal rags. This is from you. And I just ask you to rethink this. How am I supposed to grow? How is anybody supposed to grow? How are we supposed to get reach? I support you. I support Donald. And you're sitting here telling me that if all these liberals are blocking me, that it's going to affect my reach. You say it will balance out with positive and reposts and likes and comments. But how am I going to get that if the algorithms don't give me reach? So I just wanted to mention to everybody that you need to, and by the way, apparently you're not supposed to use hashtags anymore either, according to Mr. Musk. So he's going off. He's got a lot to say now. Donald Trump won that election, and Elon's just rolling out with all this different stuff. And it's kind of hitting everybody at once, and everybody's kind of, the wind knocked out of them. And I went on the other night, and I hadn't been on in one day. And I was like, what is going on? So take a look at all of it. It's kind of crazy, and that pretty much ends the show. It's kind of like like and follow. Help, word of mouth. Who knows what the algorithms are going to do? And X is one of the platforms that I'm trying to build and get people to shoot over to YouTube or get people to shoot over to Spotify where the shows are based. But man, if Elon's going to take away reach because people disagree with me, I'm fucked. So anybody that is enjoying this or that is like-minded to me in any way, or even if you some yes, some no, but maybe you like my smile or you don't, give me a like, give a follow, subscribe, tell people, check this guy out, or at least check out his clips. Check it out, give some likes, and go from there. I'm way over on my time, or else I'd probably go off more, but my goodness, with Elon and this whole thing, now the right wing is, and you're kind of going, was this the plan of somebody? Like maybe deep down they backed Trump to get to there's so much you could take out of this. The bottom line is I think that Elon and Vivek had some sort of idea about these visas, and they're going to roll with it. And they believe only in innovation and being the best. Is it worth it? That's what I'll leave you with. Is it worth it to be the best, to sacrifice some natural-born American citizens' jobs? And I'll leave that with you. And we'll go from there. Let me give you the end quote of the night, and we'll wrap it up. This is it. Work until your idols become your rivals. I'm coming for you, Joe Rogan. You're my idol now, but hopefully we'll be a rival one day. A friendly rival. I'd love to smoke a cigar with you one day. On that note, love you guys. Hope you have a great, safe New Year's Eve tonight. I said tonight because I know it'll be released on New Year's Eve. And let's start the new year off great and start listening to each other, having a conversation, and go from there. And I look forward to having lots of guests coming up and embracing the new format of the show. And can't do it without you guys. So love you. See you next year. Bye.
Find the colors, find the light. In the gray, we'll find our sight.